That means filing off-flight plan from one to the other, landing, picking up, and going through the motions of getting your IFR outbound from there, getting a release, talking to ATC, going through all of that. Try to find one that has a remote frequency on the ground where you can do it that way, and try to find one that doesn't, and you have to call on the phone.
Ready. Welcome to Opposing Bases Air Traffic Talk, an aviation podcast by two air traffic controllers and rated pilots who love to talk about flying, controlling, and everything in between. The show is for entertainment purposes only and should not be used as a substitute for your instructor, your supervisor, the FAA, the NTSB, or your CAT. The show will give you a better understanding of how things work in the National Airspace System and maybe even make you laugh along the way. Please welcome retired Army pilot Alpha Golf and first officer at Penguin Airlines, Romeo Hotel.
It's Tuesday, December 9th, 2025, episode 415. On today's show, we'll talk about real IFR training, nuisance VFR traffic, and more of your awesome feedback. What's up, AJ?
Hello, everyone.
Happy Tuesday.
Yes.
How have you been?
Good. Uh-huh.
This is where you add the things that make it good.
Oh. So... Right. So last night I was working, all of the radars combined.
All of the scopes.
It was very slow.
What time?
Late.
Okay. 9 something?
Yeah, it would have been, because I got a break at 9:15. So it was right then, right at 9:15. Eastern, for anyone that might want to go look up this audio.
That's, let's see, 0200 something? Zulu?
Yeah.
Okay.
So an airline checks in. In their check-in, they requested the RNAV to 5 right.
I like it.
Which I love.
It's great. One touch.
Yes. Direct to the fix, cross it at or above.
At the fix, contact tower, goodbye.
Clear. Right. I could be done with you. But I had to tell them that I loved their request, that we like the RNAV because of that. It's easier. It's much easier. They got everything they wanted. They were very happy. They said, and this is the good part. It was on speaker, so the other controller in the room could hear that they said this. You're the best.
Perfect.
And then I told them right before I got out, I said, we're about to change controllers. Do not let the next guy take credit for the amazing work that I've done here.
So this arrival connects with the RNAV to 5 right. Jevin? Is that it?
Kosis.
The left side? Isn't that the left?
Jevin is the left side.
Okay. So they wanted the left.
No, they wanted...
Oh, okay. I have them swapped. Okay. Very good.
Yeah, because the ILS 5 right doesn't have a fix out there that you can just go direct to. You have to vector onto final. And it's it's not a pain, but it's just way easier to go direct to a fix.
I like it. That is becoming normal at the airports domestically that I go to. LA does it. You're on an approach for 50 miles, basically. For a long time.
Yeah.
And then they do speed adjustments. Every controller out there that's listening, we love that. The pilots love it. It's easy to set up. When you're sequencing airplanes, if you say slow down and then a few minutes later say speed back up, that can be problematic. Just keep that in mind.
Right.
I am back from a double whammy trip. I did a 3-day. I was supposed to go Well, I shouldn't say I was supposed to. I was thinking I might go home with 2 days of reserve left, and normally I would. But before I left, before I got on a plane to come back to Triad, I said, let me see what the next 2 days look like. Because there's good forecasting tools to tell you if you're going to get used or not on reserve. And there's this little one day hanging out on day 5. I said, I'm number 1 for that. I'm going to get that trip. I called scheduling to confirm that. She was very nice. I said, if you were a commuter, would you go home? She says, I don't know, but I'm telling you, you're going to get that trip. Okay. So I stayed down. I rented a car. I went up visit friends at my old hometown near my base. I haven't been a driver in that area in 20 years.
Wow.
I navigated to my childhood home.
Wow.
With no GPS. I just found it.
You just remembered how to do it.
I learned to drive in this state, so I have a couple years that I lived there as a driver.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago. I was pretty proud of myself.
That's great.
It was cool. I took a picture of one of the places I used to work, which was right down the street. This old lake with water slides and a beach area. And then I went to lunch with a great friend from high school. So good way to waste a day in between. And then I did an early Chicago turn the next day. Boy, that was fun. # snow.
Oh, yeah. Cold.
A mess. An absolute mess. Now, I don't know how they do it so quickly, but the ground crews there remove snow off. There's got to be 200 miles of taxiways there.
Right.
Well, you have to get from far away to the terminal. It's not
Wisconsin.
Like they can just say, oh, we'll keep this one area clear. So now it's snowing pretty good when we get there. So just imagine trying to keep up with that. We saw some off-roading. I would call it snow off-roading. Taxiways, the controllers were great. They'd say, tell us how that looks from there. Passable, but not great. There were times you couldn't see pavement. You only navigated between the blue taxiway lights because it was all snow covered.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, took us almost an hour to get to the gate when we landed because of that. And we did a quick turn and went back. And then I flew home. Yeah.
So not too bad.
No. Look, a lot of people will be upset about that. You have to stay for the extra, just to do a simple turn. And you could be hopeful and think, oh, maybe somebody else will pick it up. Somebody looking for extra flight time. Yeah, but it's a 6 a.m. push. It's not a desirable trip.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, when you said, and then I went home, you sort of breezed over.
Oh, very
very important.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so there's a commuter matrix. You have to figure out your risk, rewards, all the things. Do I go to LaGuardia? Do I wait for the direct flight out of base, which is usually no because it always cancels. And I think this one was delayed like always. LaGuardia was a good option. And I was on my way. I was pacing towards the bus. I was going to get on the train bus trip to get over there. And I saw that Triad was delayed. Oh, I'll do that. The 10:30 was delayed until like 3:30. What could go wrong? I'll get on that flight. Yeah, there was no plane. It was never coming. This was all a myth. I think that flight ended up leaving at 7 at night. And I said, I'm not waiting. I'm going to go somewhere else. And I politely asked my wife to pick me up at Duke. It's daytime hours. It's not unreasonable. And she came and got me with my son. It was very nice. I told you I have to use that very conservatively. It should not be normalized to go an hour and a half to pick me up.
Right.
It's on me to get home, not her.
Right.
So, but I'll wait 6 months, the required wait time, before doing that again.
The cool down period.
It's unusual that I would even be able to get on a Duke flight. There are a lot of commuters out of that base. It's really senior, and it just happened to be a seat. So I got home. I have the whole week off. I don't go back until Saturday.
All right.
Yeah. Shall we begin?
Let us begin.
All right. Since OB what number are we on? 414. We have a ton of new patrons. We got a few new ones from Patreon that are still migrating. Sierra Charlie, Juliet November, Oscar Sierra, Bravo Romeo, Alpha Lima, Mike Alpha, Romeo, Papa Zulu. I'm not going to make it.
You're not.
Papa Bravo, Mike Charlie, Mike Golf, Delta Alpha, Delta Golf, Juliet Golf, Delta Romeo, Papa Lima, Sierra Bravo, Delta Whiskey, Delta Fox, Echo Echo, and Charlie Hotel. Welcome. Thank you. And for those of you who came over from Patreon, thank you for migrating. If you've been enjoying the show and you want to take it to the next level, you can join our supporter community on Supercast. They get on-time episodes with no delays, our entire back catalog, access to our live stream video recording, all of our bonus audio, and a direct line to the hosts through our supporter-only email. You'll keep the show ad-free and community-supported. If you want to learn more, check out opposingbases.supercast.com. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Radio and announcements.
Review and announcements. Oops, I failed to make this banner for the review, which I am doing, and now is on the screen.
I like it.
This review is titled Awful Timing. It looks like we dredged it up from 1990, Windows 95, maybe.
Look, there's something happened. We don't get those emails anymore.
Huh.
And I don't know why. I didn't tell anybody to stop sending them. They just stopped.
Right.
So here we are. I have to go find them. And I found this one.
Okay.
The trick is getting it to display entirely on the screen that I can pull this from. I can.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the way it looks on the app.
Right.
On the computer.
All right. This is from Oscar Mike Hotel. 5 stars. Back in July, I decided to get serious about working out, which obviously meant I needed a podcast to distract me from the existential sadness of a treadmill in a hotel gym facing a blank wall. Right. But just think of the joy of transforming your body. Okay.
Treadmills are terrible.
They really are. Enter opposing bases. I strutted into the gym knowing I could rely on these two to teach me things and make me laugh while I repeatedly questioned my life choices on the bench press. With 75 plus episodes left to catch up on, I happily let RH's commute challenges and AG's midnight stories transport me anywhere but the Hampton Inn Fitness Center. I learned, I laughed, and for a brief moment, I even forgot I was wearing noise-canceling headphones to drown out the guy dropping dumbbells like he was simulating a carrier landing. I love that. Fast forward to today, I hit rock bottom, not because of the weights, but because I caught up. Every episode, all of them. I now stand at the edge of the content abyss with 6 dangerous holiday snack-heavy weeks ahead and no auditory workout companion. My muscles are crying. My soul is crying. Even the elliptical looked at me weird. OB once offered free therapy to listeners who finished all the old episodes, so I'm wondering, is there also an organized local penguin workout group in the Coffee Bravo I can join? Or will my iceberg get too small because of the penguins absolutely thriving off the holiday calories? Either way, thanks for making me stronger emotionally, physically, and definitely weirdly. Please, please release more episodes before the penguins sink my iceberg. Oscar Mike Hotel. That was fantastic.
Excellent review. Thank you for taking the time to do that. Some announcements from Supercaster Juliet Hotel. Happy Friday before Thanksgiving. I wanted to send you guys an update first. I did my first solo back in August. Well, congrats on that. That was with 7.2 hours. That sure was fun at my pace that I can fit in lessons. I'm feeling a bit like I'll be able to get enough hours sometime in the next decade to make it to check ride land. Juliet Hotel also sent a video showing an idea he had for pilots to share their contact and flight information so ATC can find them easily in the case of lost comms or a flight plan drop or an overdue airplane. I love the energy. I love where you went with it. Probably best to just keep doing what you're doing on it. And if it works and you spread the word, I think that might be something that can be utilized. But if you go the route of asking the FAA how they feel about integrating this type of technology, I don't think there's room for that. Do you? Did you happen to check out that video I sent?
No, but without even seeing it, I can agree with you. Yeah.
I think their impression is they have the technique already in there. You have list your phone number and your contact information. That's good enough. And we've said this on the show numerous times. It's impossible for controllers to find that data. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it is really tough.
What you're suggesting is an external website that you go on. Hey, basically, where's myplane.com? Where's this aircraft? And you type it in, and if they used it, it shows where they were, what time. Here's their contact information. And with the internet and cell connectivity, it might be significantly easier to get in touch with somebody who is, in fact, unable to communicate with air traffic. Mm-hmm. So, thank you, and congrats. Keep us posted on your progress.
Yes, thank you.
Number 2, audio from Supercaster Charlie Papa. I'm ready to hit play on that.
Hi, RH and AG, Emperor Captain Charlie Papa coming to you from the Sopranos Delta under the Penguin Bravo. Passed my private pilot check ride today with 95 hours of flight time and 205 episodes of OB at 1.7 times for a similar amount of quote-unquote ground training. I wasn't positive I made the right call going ahead with the check ride, as the TAF predicted an 80-degree crosswind at 11 gust 19, and our longer runway was notamed out, leaving the worst approach. But I figured the DPA would wave me into the world of solo flights without student pilot solo disclaimers when he saw my OB water bottle that I rotated to face him and gave me the opportunity to wow him with my knowledge of flight following and NORDO procedures. In the end, he didn't see the water bottle, and the TAF didn't pick up on the low-level wind shear on short final, but I nevertheless was given congratulations and handshake as we taxied off the runway following a not unsatisfactory short field landing. Huge shout out to my CFI, November Kilo, and all the CFIs and staff at the Soprano Bravo's only Sierra School. And of course, a huge thank you to you both for everything you do in the aviation, or for the aviation community. See ya.
We're going to keep going. Congratulations, generically.
Okay.
Number 3 from Iceberg member Alfa Romeo. I recently passed my CFII check ride. That's instrument instructor check ride in the frozen north at an airport. You want to put that picture up? In an airport 2 hours south of where I'm based. With luck on my side, the weather was perfect. During the flight down, I crossed the Alaska range with Denali in full view. We only have a few hours of daylight this time of year. After the check ride, I returned in the dark with the aurora dancing overhead. Though we regularly see Denali and the aurora here, it will remain a memorable day. What a picture. That's one of them. You sent 3 or 4 more. That is awesome.
How do I zoom in on this?
The bottom of the screen, there might be a little slide bar.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Look at that view.
This right here is 20,000 and some feet. This is the coldest mountain in the world.
Really?
Yes. It's very cold. It's so far north, and it's so high.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What a view. On the way back, congratulations on your check ride, and may the force be with you on your instrument instructing.
Yes.
With your students. Do you want to get number 4? I'm exhausted.
Number 4. Let me stop share there. 444. There it is. From Penguinite Bravo Golf, past their instrument check ride.
Congrats.
Congrats. Wore my opposing base's quarter zip. Huh? And the DPE recognized it. Definitely helped me pass and was very comfortable during the flight portion. Thanks for a great show. I recommend it to all my students and fellow CFIs. Cool.
Excellent.
We make no claims as to your attire or water bottle choice affecting the outcome of your check ride.
So in one show, we've said that there's. Did your feedback have they didn't recognize their water bottle? And I showed you my water bottle?
Yes.
Okay. I think there might have been 2 versions of that audio. So we were playing the same person then.
Okay.
I think there was a little edit done. And maybe in today's scramble to get the audio, I put a different one on there. So I feel so much better. Anyway, they didn't recognize it. This one says I had a DP that did recognize it. So keep wearing your gear. It may help. It may not matter.
Right.
All right. Last one is audio from Alpha Mike. I'm ready to hit play.
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3.
Hello, Romeo Hotel, Alpha Golf, fellow penguinauts, and all ye hangers-on. It's Alpha Mike from the tall tree Delta beneath the Sourdough Bravo, recently also identified as the Golden Gate Bravo. Before some semi-timely feedback, an announcement. Not long ago, I crossed the 3,000-hour milestone as a private pilot flying as a hobby.
Congrats.
In OB415 from back in mid-October, one of your lovely doubleheaders, you discussed Bravo Papa's request to make approaches approachable. 2 additional tips. First, as a CFII, have your clients get flight following whenever they're flying on their own further than about 10 minutes. This will help them absorb the language of ATC in the NAS. Second, as a double I, work with your clients in a simulator. It doesn't matter how sophisticated the sim is. A sim allows you or your client to stop the world, get off for a few minutes, and figure out what in that world just happened. Can't do that in an airplane, though maybe you can in a copter. Keep them penguins coming.
Excellent. You took...
I missed something there. I must have missed something.
Pausing time. I think he meant, you could pause, and I think it's generally acceptable stereotype of a helicopter that, because you can hover, you can make everything
you could
stop.
just make it stop.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not how that works. Have we ever talked about hovering in IMC and the difficulties that you're faced in that situation?
That is nearly, without some sort of automation or visual guidance to keep you in a spot, nearly impossible. Impossible.
Okay.
So in the D model, there's no way you would have ever done that. You could have had altitude hold on, and it would hold an altitude baro or radar. But laterally, you have nothing to show you that you're moving or not. It would be really tough. You could maybe look at your ground speed and just always try to keep it at 0, but...
Right, you don't know which direction you're moving if you're...
Exactly. Now, the F model had a vector, a little line that would show you which direction you were moving and how fast based on how long this line was. Or you could just turn on hover hold and it would just stay there. As long as you had the power to do it at whatever altitude you were at. So
I like the advice, get flight following, and more time you can speak with ATC, the better. And in generally speaking, outside the airline world, in the airline world it's acceptable and the simulators are high fidelity. You pretty much feel like you're in the plane for almost everything. In GA, that's a little bit harder to recognize, but I try to teach my students we're in here for procedures. I don't care if you can fly this sim because it's very touchy. Some of them don't really respond well to inputs. That's not what we're in here for. I want you to get situational awareness, tell me where you're at in these procedures, and when we need to pause, we can to talk about things, and that is a huge advantage of a simulator.
Yes.
So embrace it. Don't run away from it. Yeah, I want to go get real flight time. Trust me, you're going to love the sim. It's going to teach you a lot.
Yes, it's super, super helpful. We referred to the sim as a procedural trainer, not a flight trainer.
Right. You're not learning how to do like gentle landings in the sim. That's
or taxiing. No.
Or tech, right. All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Music's playing. Time feedback. All right, I'll get number 1. We had a lot of new subscribers this week, and a lot of them migrated from Patreon. Don't forget to cancel your Patreon subscription if you came over. It is not automatic, and the platforms do not talk to each other. We cannot do it for you, sadly. Some of you have asked. We can't do it. But thank you for taking the time to migrate. That will be coming to an end soon. Migration will be over officially. If you want to stay on Patreon, there's nothing wrong with that. But the ability to migrate over to Supercast on Supercast migration pricing will end very soon. So if you're thinking about doing it and you're putting it off, now's the time.
Yes. Good.
You get number 2.
Number 2 from Supercaster Lima Bravo AG and RH. You made my ears hurt. At 1 hour, 2 minutes, 28 seconds. of the last episode?
Might be a couple episodes ago. I
Okay,
remember this comment, though.
Be careful. Each time a fellow aviator refers to Garmin G1000 as touchscreen avionics, an innocent penguin chick goes to die. Oh, my word.
Okay, let's say it. The G1000 has buttons on the side of the monitor, but it is not a touchscreen like newer Garmin's. Okay? Don't touch the screen.
Okay.
Continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Just like the scope downstairs in the radar room. Stop putting your greasy fingerprints, whoever you are, stop.
They know
touching.
it bothers you, and they're going to keep doing it.
It isn't that it just bothers me. They're told not to do it.
All right.
Anyway, Lima Bravo continues. In fact, the FAA should hand out those leftover plastic rulers from the paper sectional days to all CFIs to slap any student firmly on the wrist before said screen is touched, thereby saving both the screen and the penguin. Plastic rulers saving penguins. Yes. Smudgy fingers, the result of checking your fuel, oil, and tire pressure per the checklist, will eventually kill those screens. Do not touch. Not to mention the biscuit you had for breakfast, the fries you ate for lunch. Stop touching the screens. Thank you from the Penguin family, Lima Bravo.
This announcement is for everybody, pilots included. We don't have touch screens. Stop touching them.
Yes. Yes, please.
All right, number 3 from Supercaster Sierra Victor. I've officially joined the Adopt a Controller program. Juliet Bravo, you can put that up on the screen if you want. I don't see any problem sharing that. Juliet Bravo is a friendly, long-haired trainee at the Tall Trees Delta, qualified on ground and starting local in a few weeks. Today, that's why they're in such a great mood. They haven't started local yet. Today was our first flight, IFR from the Noise Abatement Delta through the Sourdough to the long-haul commuter Delta across the bay. After a week of IMC, the only thing obscuring our visibility this morning was a biblical swarm of VFR. It's an unknown verse in the Bible when all the VFR airplanes came out. I'm surprised you could see
the 11th plague of Egypt.
I'm surprised you could see the sky in our photo. On our way back, I couldn't check in edgewise, but we enjoyed a stimulating debate between NorCal and a 182 about whether he was actually in the Bravo. I think the controller was a little too saturated to do a Brasher warning. I can't overstate how awesome it is to have a controller in the right seat. Having someone with awareness of the airspace, airplane spotting skills, and no idea how wonky my approach was is incredibly special. Yeah, most non-pilots will be blissfully unaware of your unusual attitude. Just smile, make it seem normal.
Yep, totally fine. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. It's normal to see the ground out of the top of the window. It's all good. Cool. We talked about offering for local controllers. You can get a phone number to call, ask to talk to a supervisor or someone in charge. Hey, is there anybody who wants to go on a local flight? And the more controllers that can get into airplanes, and I think especially GA in the area they serve, the better they're going to be.
Yes,
And
absolutely. Absolutely.
And the flip side of that is go get a tour. That's where you meet all these people, and you can put out the offer in person.
Yes.
Cool. All right, fancy jet music.
Fancy jet.
All right, this week's show topic is real IMC, real IFR training, and real life preparation, brought to us by Emperor Captain Charlie Lima. Do you want to start there? And then I put blue where we can kind of interrupt and speak and do all the things.
All right.
Go for it.
From Charlie Lima, greetings, gents. Apologies in advance for the wall of text listening to OB408 about making approaches approachable jogged a memory from my instrument training days that I thought you might enjoy, as the statute of limitations has passed and we can laugh about it now. I also thought I'd briefly share what my instrument... I noticed that we've stayed anonymous too here with initials. Mm-hmm. and hiding the location.
Did I or no? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right. I would share my instrument training preparation entailed for making instrument approaches easier. All right. Training tips that worked for me in Part 61 land. Will you remind everyone, including myself, what Part 61 land
Generally
is?
speaking, I'll simplify this. Part 61 is a non-structured, big school-related flight program. You know, your next-door neighbor who's an instructor can do a Part 61 training. It's just a different set of rules versus Part 141. The certificates are the same, so the check rides are the same. It's the structure and where you learn and all the things associated with the training part that's different. But a pilot's a pilot. That's my general summary.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 1, get the written out of the way as soon as possible, maybe even before you take a single flight for instrument training. That's good.
I love this advice.
I think we did it the opposite way. We took the written at the end.
Gross.
After you were done.
Huh.
Like, okay, you've passed IFR training.
Ah.
Now go take your test. Yep.
In the civilian world, you can't do that. You have to have your written done before you take your practical. So it's a requirement. It's got a time frame associated with it. It's got an expiration date, I think. That might not be the case anymore, but the sooner you can get it done, the better. I'm not going to go on a rant about it, I promise, but the writtens have very little association with real life. They're old tests. They're old questions. Just accept it. There's books that tell you all the answers. It's rote memorization. You can get 100 by just memorizing all the answers. There might be 1,000 questions you have to know for a 100-question test, but go do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Ours was a commercial and instrument combined
Fun.
into the same. Into the same day. Yeah. So good. I like that. Number 2, train in real IMC as much as possible. I managed to do almost 10 of my 40 required hours in IMC, and I was so much better off because of it. Seasoned pilot question to would-be instrument-rated pilots. Do you want the first time you experience spatial disorientation in the soup to be solo or with a CFII that can help you as you get used to this incredibly upsetting sensation?
We're going to talk a lot about that today.
Okay.
But safe, non-icing, benign weather should be explored. Don't run from it.
Yeah, so from the air traffic side, we're normally happy to accommodate requests. Let's say you're cruising at 4, you're going from, practice approach 1 to practice approach 2, and you've got 40 or 50 miles maybe between them, and there's a layer above you, but you would be wrong for direction of flight or whatever to go up in there. Just ask, hey, could we go up to 5,000 to get in the clouds? Absolutely. We're normally happy to accommodate that, traffic permitting. But you won't get it if you don't ask.
No, it's geographically dependent too. Those clouds in the summertime in Florida, for example, will be very disruptive to your calm flight.
Right.
Here in late summer, non-thunderstorm, early fall time, and even in the springtime, there's plenty of benign, non-threatening cloud, non-icing weather that you can find yourself in safely without messing up your plane and it being a completely opposite effect if you never wanted to touch a cloud again. It can be an enjoyable experience.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, good.
All right.
Number 3, listen to live ATC or OB390 and many others, which didn't exist when I was training, to get that PTAC drill memorized so you can fill in the Mad Lib cards for the approach plates into your home airport. Then practice reading back the clearance ATC would give you in the car, and you'll start to sound like a pro. Bonus points if you do this before your training so that you can impress the socks off your CFII and help build their confidence in your abilities from the start. Love it. I love this. I love doing phraseology in the car. the phraseology for PTAC is almost always going to be the same. And if you can just like he says, this ad lib, it's a pattern that you just fill in now, the headings, and knowing the order will just help you read it back. So I couldn't agree with that more.
Mm-hmm. This is a good part coming up. I can't wait.
All right, so that worked for me. Your mileage may vary. Now on to the story. Do you want to read the story?
Sure. This was in 2016, so ForeFlight was very much a thing, but the plane was steam gauged, and the GPS we had was a KLN 89 Bravo. So much better than the Alpha.
Yeah, I loved the Bravo update myself.
For those that are unaware,
game changing.
I can't read this without laughing. A graphing calculator with your kids' algebra homework plotted is more useful for navigation than the map view from that GPS, what it provided, but I digress. We picked a fantastic day with regional 600 to 800 foot overcast coverage to do the long instrument cross-country requirement. I had done all my planning, showed my instructor my routing we'd likely get, and what approaches we could expect. I was confident in my flight planning abilities. Absolutely nothing could go wrong. On our flight had us leaving the Hawkeye Municipal Airport just south of the city of Five Smells, Charlie. And our first stop was going to be the French-Canadian Settler Delta on the Mississippi River. That leg was uneventful, and we shot an ILS. Landed for a quick break, and then took off for the Badger capital, Charlie. Once we got the ATIS and contacted approach, they told us to expect the ILS 36. Great, let's pull up the plate and brief the approach. The plate is a piece of paper, now displayed on iPads typically, that shows your plan view and profile view of the approach you're going to do with all the frequencies, all the courses, just doing a little fill-in for those of you who don't know what that is. And you use that to brief the approach. How are we going to fly this? What has to be set up? And make sure you have everything down pat. I pull up the plates from Badger Capital, and ForeFlight says, not downloaded. Expletive. We had nothing, literally nothing. No frequency for the nav radio, no identifier, no altitudes, nothing. In IMC, it was truly a terrifying experience. I found myself perspiring more than Ted Stryker in the 1980 documentary Airplane. We quickly realized we'd have to either hope we had enough signal at whatever altitude and pull the plate down from the internet, or we'd have to confess to the sky gods at Badger Capital Approach that we needed approach data and be sent to a Turkish prison upon landing. Okay, if somebody asked you for that stuff, would you be assuming they did something illegal and, assuming they were wrong? I mean, or would you just give it to them?
I would just give it to them. I might say, like, what in the world? I mean, come on. But I'm not officially going to do anything.
Right.
I'm not going to report them. Hey, supervisor.
This guy's clearly flying with no plates.
Yeah, no, whatever.
Okay, so just a little bit of understanding for those of you who have never done IFR. There's a lot of planning involved. You do need to have all this stuff that apparently was not downloaded on the iPad. It's very important. It should not be dismissed. And normally it sounds like they would have this. We had paper charts back in the day. The packing was involved you actually getting up-to-date, current, used NOS government charts, right? The flips.
Yep.
What do you guys call those? Flips?
Yeah, the flips. Yep.
We did too. We had some. It wasn't mandatory, but you could have the Jeppesen ones. They cost a little more money, but we had physical pieces of paper. They weren't on an iPad. We did have the charts, the chart supplements, and all the applicable approach plates for your, like a corridor along your route in case you diverted. And usually they came in packs like states. I think, the bigger the state, it might just be all by themselves. And yes, you need to buy the whole state because that's how they come. And you have these hard binders, you place them in. And now a lot of that's gone. You had the binders, right?
No binders.
Oh, because they're not the flip ones. Yeah, I'm thinking of my airline days when we had the Jeppesons, but because those are like a book. The flip charts, you have them clipped to something in the plane, but yeah, maybe not a hard binder.
Yeah, so ours were just a bound. They had a binding designed to last about 56 days.
Right. Right.
We strapped him to our leg
Okay.
with a strap that had a clear band on it.
Okay.
So that it could sit there and you didn't have to hold it. In the King Air, we just held it or used an iPad or, use the FMS.
Right. So, in other words, it's easier now, but only if you actually put all those things on your iPad.
Right. Yeah, right.
Background 2016 was a simpler time, and the fruit company loved to charge more than necessary for extra storage. This has not changed. It hasn't. My fruit pad at the time had maybe 64 gigabytes of storage, so holding all lower 48 states worth of charts wasn't going to work well. I had limited my downloads to just my home state, and I did not utilize the pack feature. People are screaming right now. I can't believe you didn't pack. You hit so you put in a flight. I want to go from A to B, and I might divert to C, and you pack, and it gives you every piece of paper chart you need for a corridor around your flight. There's everything, and you hit pack, and it downloads, and you have to take time to do this on Wi-Fi. They can't do it in the airplane unless you're getting a really good signal on your Starlink, which didn't exist back then. So packing is important. They also did not think to download the Badger States charts before leaving. Why would you? That's the airport you were going to.
Yeah, I mean, it's hardly useful.
Such a waste. Such a waste of space.
In the rare event that we would need this.
So much for my flight planning abilities. I immediately confessed to my instructor, who, as we found out, also did not have the Badger State charts. And we both frantically started holding our phones to the window to get enough signal to pull down the approach plate. So this is, your mileage may vary, but that is not going to work in most cases.
No.
Okay.
Can we get lower for cell reception?
After what felt like an eternity, whilst in IMC no less, we managed to grab it, brief it, and get on the ground safely where we could both adjust our for-flight data download settings on the FBO Wi-Fi. Upon my return from an otherwise successful IFR cross-country training flight, I gave more money to the fruit company to ensure this would never happen again. My double I and I both learned incredibly valuable lessons that day, and I can at least laugh about it. Cheers, Penguin Nut, Troy Lima. All right, we're going to break down a couple of these things that stand out, in addition to making fun of you for not packing. But I'm sure those pilots listening have done something similar. This is a very easy mistake to make when you're doing all the things and getting ready. I could see this happening, okay?
Yep.
All right, so my number one on here, and if we talked about some of this, just skip it, but maybe we can go back and forth. Go out and find safe weather to train in. If you're limiting yourself to super great VFR days, even in your instrument training, you're doing yourself a disservice, and so is your instructor if you're doing instrument training. So, 1,000-foot ceilings are the perfect day to stay local. File an IFR flight plan, go from a tower to a non-tower, do a non-precision. You can do an ILS, but don't use the foggles. Just make it real IMC, real flying. Don't put on the foggles every time you're between clouds. Just go out and fly and actually interact with these clouds, in and out of them, just like you will when you have your rating.
Yes, and interact with the system the way that you would if you were going IFR A to B. So that means filing off-flight plan from one to the other, landing, picking up. I know this isn't the most efficient,
but it's great
in terms of accomplishing stuff, but it's the most real, especially to a satellite airport and going through the motions of getting your IFR outbound from there, getting a release, talking to ATC, going through all of that. Try to find one that has a remote frequency on the ground where you can do it that way, and try to find one that doesn't, and you have to call on the phone. If you call on the phone from somewhere that does have a remote, they're probably going to get a little bit grumpy at you. Like, why are you not calling on the frequency to the controller that is going to work you? But anyway, that's going to make it as real as possible. And I think a lot of the times training exists in this round robin. I do an approach. It's all in one flight plan. All I have to do is get my outbound from one place. And if it's a towered airport, it's super easy. And then the thing ends And you never went through the motions of a full flight to a non-towered, especially.
Agreed.
So
You want to get number 2?
yeah, find an instructor that isn't afraid of doing this type of flight. It is so valuable. It's so worth it. To get some real IMC, maybe your personal minimums for ceilings are higher than 1,000 feet. I don't know. We've talked about that on the show. Personal minimums. The terrain plays a factor into that. How many airports are there to land at? If something happens, how much time do you want when you get to the cloud bases before you have to make a decision about what's happening? So keep that in mind. But yeah, 1,000. I'd say when it's 800 to 1,500, we get a ton of IFR practice approach training. A huge amount. That's probably our busiest time for practice approaches. So don't be afraid to do that.
If your instructor's not, maybe they're not willing to admit why they don't want to go, but for whatever reason they're not, ask if there's someone who is available that maybe has a little more experience in that. Because it's not unlikely that you'll have a flight school that has, a wide spectrum of experience on the instructor side. Someone who just got their ratings might be like, yeah, I don't know. Not really sure if I want to do teaching right now in this. But you might have a guy or girl that has, 1,000 hours in the soup, and let's do it. Let's go. Ask, it'll be another experience for you too. So don't take no for an answer. Find somebody that'll take you. Another thing, hey, I don't know when this is going to happen. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. When the weather does approach that type of perfect IFR training day, ceilings, there's no plane available. Well, this is when you really get into weather planning. If you want to go on a trip one day with your family and you want to decide how you're going to get home, this is going to be something I could do in a couple days. I got everybody to the beach. All right, what's the weather going to be like in 3 days? Do the same type of thing. You can figure out. The forecasts are really good. You can kind of forecast, and you can do this. Hey, this is going to be a perfect day for this in 48 hours, 72 hours from now, where I can pull this off and then get the plane. Don't wait till the last minute and say, oh, I couldn't get a plane. Plan ahead. And that's where you can really get into some weather planning.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get into this. I think we will.
Okay.
So along those lines of planning, and you may have to wait till you're closer to this flight, but be aware of freezing levels and stay out of the ice.
Perfect segue to number 4.
Yeah, right. Last night we had moderate rime from like 8,000 all the way down final till you broke out. In a small plane, bad.
That's a no-go.
Yeah, don't do that. There was no way to get out of it. I mean, I guess you could have climbed, but then what?
Yeah, well, eventually you have to come back through it.
Right.
Temperature inversions is a big part of the discussion. Not everything's just like the classroom and the ground school where it's a lapse rate of 2 degrees per 1,000 feet. Sometimes it goes the other way. If there's rain coming down and freezing, that means it's warmer somewhere above you. It sounds counterintuitive, but another great point. Stay out of the ice, please.
Yep.
All right, so we kind of joked about it and the EFBs. And everybody who's using an EFB, we're not against that. That's the wave. That's what's happening. That's normalized. Totally okay. And I'm sure you all have battery backups and all the cords and all the things. But it is incredibly comforting to have something as a paper backup, even if it's just your home airport, even if they're old expired plates. It's something.
Yeah.
A low and route chart that has, big picture. If you're doing navigation and you're trying to find something and all else fails, having that paper may be the difference between you feeling like completely lost versus, all right, I have something here. I can get through this. So consider it. I'm not saying go out and buy a bunch of paperwork that you don't need that you're going to use once, but consider it as part of your planning. You want to get number 6?
Yeah. We carried a 50-pound box of pubs in the King Air.
And someone updated it. It was plane specific. It was for the plane, not for the person.
Each plane had its own box of pubs that was updated. Mm-hmm. And it was the whole country.
That's a lot of paperwork.
It is.
When I was at the regional I was at, it was pre-FBs. We had a brain bag, the hard leather case. And we each had to have all of our paperwork. There was nothing in the plane.
Right.
So you carried all the charts. You had to do all your your updates. Now, it was for every airport that was on the structure for that company. So they were company specific. I wasn't carrying every approach plate for the NAS, but everywhere that our company went, we had paperwork for it. And in the off case, we went to an airport that we didn't serve. We could get the information from air traffic, but we had all the maps, we had all the charts, and that bag was heavy. Now it's all downloaded. And
we may not have had stuff for like the West Coast because you would know ahead of time. But it wasn't unreasonable to fly to Texas from here in a day.
That's a lot of paper.
Get there and them to say, "Hey, we got this add-on, and now you need to go to, New Mexico,
right?
And you're going to spend the night, and then come so." You're pretty far away from North Carolina. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, where were we at? Number 6. When you file, use the remarks to say practice IMC training approaches at each airport. Yes. Try to be specific in your remarks. If you can just list out the approaches that you want at non-towered. I know it's hard ahead of time to know what the towered places are going to be doing. You can sort of guess based on the wind forecast. But at non-towered, you're pretty much going to be able to get what you want, and just listing those in the remarks in a very simple way. Identifier with no kilo, so as few characters as you can. Identifier, ILS, 6. No spaces.
Just keep on trucking because it's limited data entry positions on this strip.
Right. Include in your remarks what you think ATC would want to know. Mm-hmm. And like I said before, if you are below a layer and you want to get into it and it's not freezing and it's not turbulent, just ask. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The last one I have on here is rehearsing PTAC. If you're listening to live ATC at your local airport, if they have it, listen to approach. You're going to hear them say all the things that you're going to hear. You're just going to be an actor in the play. Just read the lines and knowing what to read back. I still hear it, and you hear it all the time on the controlling side. PTAC is a position where aircraft or the pilots get scared. They don't know what to say. They can't read it all back. What's going to happen if I don't read it perfectly? Position, turn, altitude, clearance. That's all it is. It's the same everywhere.
It's the same.
So all you're reading back is the turn, the altitude, cleared for the approach. I know it seems hard when you're doing it. And we talked about this a couple shows ago. It's the same all the time.
It's 30 degrees. Your turn is going to be a 30 degrees or very close to that. Mm-hmm. Have some awareness of which direction you're coming from and what the turn is going to be like. Okay, we're going to come from over here. They're going to join us up about 10 miles out from the field. Mm-hmm. It's going to be this heading. If we're coming from the north, it's going to be a left turn. Whatever it is, just have some idea of what is going to happen when you get there.
So when you're putting your practice approaches down, you could figure out, hey, generally speaking, we're going to be coming from this direction. I think they'll have us on a right downwind, for example. We're going to be right turns. The last one's going to be a right turn. It's going to be 30 degrees off the final. Just walk through that on the ground. You could do all that stuff on the ground. You could practice it ahead of time so that nothing is a surprise. So when you do have that instinctual PTAC drool reaction, you're saying something you've practiced.
Yeah, and based on recent events that I have experienced, if you are in a place that doesn't make sense for what you're wanting, speak up and say something like, what is the plan here? What are,
What's the example? What happened recently?
okay, so a jet,
Okay.
I won't say who was operating this jet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it's a jet. So you kind of have this assumption that the people that are flying this plane are well along in their training, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. When you are 8,000 feet above the ground on a 5-mile right base for the runway that you're intending to go to, going 320 knots with a tailwind, okay, and you fly past the runway that you wanted.
That you had planned for and thought you were going to.
Yes. And you said nothing until you had flown another 15 miles and turned base for a completely different runway. And when I tell you where the airport is, and you say, oh, we were expecting a different runway, we're set up for a different runway, I'm thinking, well, at what point did you think what was happening was normal for going to that runway?
Right. You crossed it at 8,000 feet on a downwind for the crossing runway, and you failed to mention that the runway we wanted to go to or thought we were going to,
Yeah.
it's way down there.
Were you not? The two pilots looking at each other going, what's the plan here? Where are we going? If you feel like that, either one, you're disoriented, or two, there is a miscommunication.
Well, yeah.
And it needs to be resolved. It needs to be resolved. Please don't wait until you've flown another 25 miles in the wrong direction before you say something.
I like that story.
Okay.
Big picture, this is all to, we're not making fun of your story. The packing part is important, and it's you learned a lot from that. But for those of you that are in flight training or are instrument rated and have low IMC time, next time you do your flight review, go up with someone who can do it in IMC. That's a great way to do it. There are places you can do it safely. It can be done safely. You can plan for it safely, and it'll make you a better pilot.
Yep.
Anything to add?
No.
Thank you, Charlie Lima, for sharing the I Forgot to Pack story. Moving on. Dang music. Feedback time.
Feedback.
All right, we have two of these. They're a little bit longer. The audio for this one, I'll go ahead and read it, is from Supercaster Alpha Mike. The audio was love, liveatc.net, but it had one of those that I couldn't get rid of. And it was never by itself for me to isolate it, so you couldn't read it, but they put the text in here. So, hello, O lords of the airspace, masters of the NAS, shepherds to pilots lost in their IFR helmet fires, and saviors of trainee controllers trapped in the tubes of failed sequencing plans. That'd be a great opener for a chapter in a book. I come to you this day as a humble pilot to confess my sins and ask for your forgiveness. Despite your many teachings and benevolent guidance, I failed to request flight following on a recent flight, and here's the story of how that turned out. I was flying back home after 4 straight days of training in those spinning wings on top, beating the air into submission flying machines. I was departing the Mars Cheese Castle Delta, which was marginal VFR with 2,700-foot ceilings, headed for my home airport. That's not Teterboro Class Golf Airport. I made that mistake about 2 years ago, and Alpha Mike won't let me forget it. With the temps below freezing in these parts of the nation, there's no flying IFR into IMC. Very good. We talked about this. So clouds are bad if they have ice crystals in them that adhere to your airplane and make the wing stop working.
Right.
Ice is bad, people. Most general aviation aircraft wings do not have the capability of shedding or stopping said ice accumulation.
Yes.
Okay. A direct flight path would take me straight through the Happy Days Beer Town, Charlie, so I took a look to see what the runway they were using. Based on traffic in ForeFlight, I could see they were landing one left, and so my best course would be a route to the west of the Charlie altogether. Not an uncommon route for me, having made this flight so many times now. All right. So I plan to fly from A to a fix to B, which would keep me just west of the Charlie. All airports north of my origin were showing VFR conditions. So I knew once I got out from under this low deck of clouds, I'd be able to climb a bit to get more comfortable altitude. But since I didn't know when I would clear them, I figured I'd probably be changing altitudes quite frequently for cloud clearance. I chose not to ignore the insights you've bestowed upon our loyal penguinots and elected not to get flight following. I chose to ignore them. Okay? Maybe because of the plan, you feel like you're doing the right thing, staying out of the way. You know you're going to have to do a bunch of altitude hopping. I'm okay with your sins at this point. Are you being robbed again?
I think the house is thawing out.
Oh, okay.
It's making all kinds of noises.
I took off, and for the first 10 minutes or so, all was well. However, as I was getting closer to the fix in between A and B, I saw in ForeFlight a Penguin Airlines flight headed straight towards that same fix, about 700 feet above and descending. I recognized immediately that they must have switched runways and were now landing 7 right. Knowing that this fix is a common fix that they use for aircraft on 7 right, I realized I'd put myself in the worst possible position at the worst possible altitude, and I was not talking to anyone. All right, any thoughts so far?
Okay, well, I mean, first of all, you recognize that this was happening. Mm-hmm. This is the key to this scenario changing. It is when the pilots don't recognize it.
Yes.
And they just happily go blasting through the middle of everything with no thought to it at all. Mm-hmm. And when a jet goes right over them.
Oh, look, a jet.
Huh, weird. What is that guy doing?
Don't they see me here?
Yeah.
All right. Thus, I tuned in approach and dutifully awaited my turn on a very busy frequency. Before I could break in, I heard the following exchange between the approach and the Red Pyramid Airlines flight. Audio is attached, but it's hard to hear. We're not going to play it. It's terrible. Not your fault, but it's terrible audio. All right. Red Pyramid 1234, descend and maintain 5,000. Traffic is your 12 o'clock, 5 miles northbound at 3,600. All right. 5,000, Pyramid 1234. We're looking, but we're in IMC now. That's even more confusing for the controller because how is this person not talking to me, but you're below the clouds? So now I was in a really bad place. It was time to pipe up, but before I could approach, was back on the air, and this is the exchange that followed. Red Pyramid 1234, I'm going to take you out a little bit farther to get you on the other side of that VFR target because they're not talking to me. It's annoying. Roger, we're still hard IMC, so that's okay. Pyramid 1234. Now, feeling totally awful for the mess that I had created, and knowing I had ignored your divinely inspired advice, I responded the only way I could think to at the moment. Approach, Cherokee 123. We're the annoying one. We can talk to you. I'm sorry, Cherokee 123. Yeah, I'd much rather be talking to you. Squawk this squawk. I appreciate it. All right, break in there. What do you think so far? They realize they're messing up? Do you like the resolution?
Yes. Yes, and it should be telling. And it should confirm what we have been saying for a long time.
8 years.
I'd much rather be talking to you. Now, there are the occasional grumpy, bad attitude controllers that may not share that sentiment, but they are the exception. And especially if you are in a place like this, where jets and arrivals have to go. They have to go here. There isn't another, I could kind of take you out of the way, but eventually I got to have you on final. So they want to talk to you. They want you. Yeah.
Something I thought about, I didn't put in any notes here on this. Bravo airspace is much better at creating visible boundaries to preclude this from happening. If you're in Bravo, you're going to be talking to an approach controller. They've given you a Bravo clearance. And the airspace is designed to protect the IFR airline traffic going in and out of the runways in general.
Almost fully encompassed.
Right. In general.
Not entirely, but
right.
Way better than what I'm guessing you're about to say.
Yeah, this scenario is not likely in Bravo. However, there are far more Charlies And Charlie Airspace was not designed by a controller, and it certainly wasn't designed by a pilot. It was designed with a protractor and a circle. That's all they did. Hey, how far can we go out? I don't know, 5 miles? Okay. What about this other ring? Oh, we'll go out about 10. That should do it, right? No, it doesn't. It actually doesn't do anything.
It doesn't. It's not in any way helpful.
It places planes in a legally terrible spot. They're okay to be there. They're not breaking any rules, and Alpha Mike was not breaking any rules, but it still can cause heartache for the approach controller trying to get airplanes through this space that's not regulated like a Bravo would be. Is that what you thought I was going to say?
Yes.
Charlie design is terrible.
And they are changing them.
They are, and I think on the pilot side, there might be a tendency to be upset about that. Oh my God, I can't believe they're going to make me fly this far out of the way. Yeah, but here's why. This is why. That's here.
The thing that we have tried to impress upon you for 8 years. Yes, you can be here. No, it is not a good idea. Other planes must go here. Mm-hmm. And you think that because if I call air traffic, they're going to turn me and take me out of the way. Yes, because you are in the way. Mm-hmm. You are in a bad place. Mm-hmm. It is in the interest of the NAS that you might be slightly inconvenienced. Your one plane might be slightly inconvenienced for the convenience of the many. Stop being in those places.
Well said. Call ATC. All right. They continue. Subsequent communications were all great, as she instructed me to maintain at or below 3,500 and shared that she'd be keeping arrivals above me at 5,000. I love this. 2 times along my trip, she stated that if it was okay, she'd like to keep me longer, which, of course, I was more than happy to oblige. When I did finally get near my home airport and she was ready to cut me loose, she again apologized and said it was just a very stressful morning. In my reply, I assured her she had nothing to apologize for and that she was right. I was absolutely being annoying. Live ATC audio was attached. It was a very quick exchange. Again, totally ruined by the static. That's not your fault. But it was really reinforcing what you and I are saying. This controller was going out of the way to say, I'm sorry, because they probably realized he called you annoying, but I'm going to have to do things to you now, alter your flight path and your plan to keep you safe. And really, there's no need for either side to apologize. You stepped in and said, I'm here, I'm sorry, and I should have called you from the beginning, and the controller has to do their job and keep you separated. So everybody's doing the right thing. I'm going to reiterate what you said. You are in a legal spot, but please don't think that means you don't and shouldn't talk to ATC. Call them. Mm-hmm. All right, so all is well that ends well, but my sins of not getting falling on a flight that was going to be about 30 minutes long certainly illustrates the wisdom of the Penguin Gospels. Please forgive this lowly soul for not heeding your advice, or your wise counsel, I'm sorry. As a penance, I shall recite 150 clearly articulated and accurate full route clearances without need for a repeat of any fixed names or squawk code. Sincerely, your humble participant in the NAS, Alpha Mike. Oh, the PS is for you.
PS, I'm still training in the helicopters, going longer than my initial plan, as I've made the decision to bypass the private check ride and go direct to commercial. I like that. Mm-hmm. It makes sense in helicopters. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are you going to do? Go rent. I guess you could go rent a helicopter. Yeah. This means I need to accumulate a few additional experience requirements, PIC time, cross countries, night hours. So I'm working on those now. Hope to have a happy update about passing the check ride early next year. I think that the requirements for this to be duplicated in a helicopter are completely unnecessary. If you are a pilot, if you are a fixed wing person that has all of these ratings, and you've accomplished cross country and night hours, just learn to fly the helicopter.
Right.
And this should apply to that also. Mm-hmm. It's so redundant. Mm-hmm. Flying straight and level in a helicopter is not particularly different. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is a little bit, but once you figure out how to fly and hover, it's we could just kind of apply the other stuff over. It really is not that much more difficult.
Excellent. Well, good luck with that. Keep us posted on your progress, and thanks for sharing your story. You're forgiven. No penance necessary. And I'm really glad you ran into a controller that's open arms, taking you on the frequency. They didn't give you any, they didn't just yell at you and say, go away. I said, no, squawk this. I love that. So,
yes.
You get number 2.
Number 2, Penguin Kilo Golf. Hello, AG and Arch. I've always had my doubts about the disdain for your Tracon neighbors to the east.
I'm going to get these on the screen while you're talking.
Okay, so, he's had his doubts, but this story will wash away all of those doubts. This is my guess. I don't know. I haven't read this yet.
Okay.
I mean,
you'll like it.
It's a Charlie airspace. Aren't all up-down facilities equally comparable?
No, they're not.
I mean, if I fly around the Midwest racetrack city whose international airport has the same runway orientation as Triad and also seems to always have a runway closed for no apparent reason, and they are wonderful controllers, how different could a facility be in terms of customer service? Yeah. I sympathize with that facility having a runway closed all the time. I feel like that's us too. Well, a little over a year ago, needing to log a long cross country for my commercial rating, build hours, and also wanting to visit some friends that were at the time stationed at the often renamed large Army facility known for housing elite soldiers, I finally ventured to the southeast in my flight school's trusty Archer, whose owner has probably doubled the value of the plane with the addition of just about every Garmin device available. Wow. But I digress. After a pre-dawn departure, a beautiful flight and fuel stop at the airport I believe you guys refer to as Andy Griffith, yes, I picked up my IFR with the incomparable Triad approach. As to maintain the warm, fuzzy safety blanket of ATC and radar services, I departed for a small airport in the middle of nowhere that has a shockingly nice FBO. The route is in the attached screenshot, and while I did not have the incredible honor and privilege to speak to the best-looking and easiest to understand controller in the NAS, I was treated to impeccable service while in the airspace. However, upon reaching the boundary, I should have braced myself for what was coming. I checked in, received the current altimeter setting, and all was fine. But it's just a trap to get me to let my guard down. Only minutes after first speaking to the Duke approach, I was given descend and maintain 3,000. Oh, that was a fast flight. Okay, so I start my descent checklist. First thing on there is getting the weather. Wait, I haven't done that yet. How did I get so distracted that now I'm behind the airplane? I haven't set up anything for my arrival. Hang on, how far away am I? Quick glance at the GPS, 43 miles. Insert incredulous AG. What? I don't have any interest in flying that far at 3,000. First off, it was a warm October day. It was bumpier down there. Second, obviously, I can't glide as far. I am displeased, but it gets more annoying. As I approach Taco Truck Airport, there are some either fire planes or crop dusters operating in and out. So now they want me to stay clear of them. So they climb me up all the way to 3,500 and proceed to leave me there at a popular VFR altitude the rest of the way to Hairnet County. So all that to say, I get it now. No thought given to GA, just go away. And I know you filed IFR, but I don't know how to handle that mixed with my jet traffic. Go away and leave me alone. Now, understand that I do realize that the winds were favoring the northeast runways that day and that they were most likely just keeping me out of the final bucks, but that's way less fun than bagging on the neighbors. You are right to do all the things that you've said are right. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows them to be right. But I did use that trip on my long cross country and passed my commercial single engine land ride at the beginning of October this year.
Congrats.
Awesome. Congrats. Thanks for everything you guys do. I'm a better user than asked because both of you share your experience, knowledge, and insights. We are all better for it. Happy to be able to support you for less than 0.2 on the Hobbs each month. Emperor Captain Juliet Kilo Golf.
There's a picture on the screen if you haven't seen it yet. Mm-hmm. The dog is hilarious. Still seems to be scared of the fact that they've taken off. Does it look like they have a look on their face like, what is happening?
I interpret it more to be, whose airspace are we in right now? Yeah, I mean, Duke,
Do better.
They want to be, a busy Bravo. They have a lot of jets. I will give them that. A lot of airlines. And so they sort of push aside the GA. That's the sense we've always gotten anyway, as they kind of push that to the side. But I think they would realize very quickly if they were working all of that GA, how much more work it is than airlines. Airlines are easy. Right. That's the easiest traffic you'll work.
Yeah, you're happy when you see a string of those coming in versus mixing in approaches with GA. Yeah. Any words of advice for encountering a descent 43 miles away?
If you're willing to go around, go out of, widen out a little bit. I'm guessing you were at 7 or 9 maybe, going that way. I don't know. We just kind of work it out. If you're a 7 overflight, and now granted, Hairnet County is right on the boundary, and so they are gonna have to start you down. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We just tunneled the arrivals underneath you.
Yeah. That's what I mean. And that's one of they are crossing the 5 final box that goes out about 20 to 25 miles, just like ours, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But putting them at 3 actually makes it harder, I think, for a final controller. It's easier to go underneath them.
It is. Or go closer to the airport.
Yeah.
Just give them a 10 left when they cross the boundary.
Yes.
Once they get you from Triad, go 10 left, go closer, or just say, give them a fix or I don't know, something that goes north of this route, because the planes are descending as they get closer to the airport. So if you're at 7 or 9, and then once you've sort of crossed over, like the final approach fix area, if you cross the final approach fix at 7,000,
you're in a safe zone.
Who is there? No one's there.
Right. Yep.
The downwinds, I guess, maybe? I don't know.
This would also be another point to say out loud. You could say, is it possible I could stay up here? It's smooth up here. It's a nice way to say, please don't do that. Hey, it's smoother up here. We'd like to stay up here longer. Also, can I get direct to this fix? It's on the RNAV to this runway. It gives them 2 things. It gives them an altitude, and they have to pause and think about it. Yeah, I can probably do this with you at that altitude. And 2, a place for you to aim that might actually help them. So,
yeah, I mean, just be willing to go a little bit left or right if you do want to stay high. Or be willing to have a more rapid descent when you get. Mm-hmm. That's probably kind of what they were worried about. Well, if I keep you at 7 all the way through the final box, you're going to have to, in 15 miles, you're going to have to lose all this altitude very quickly.
That could have been it. I still think there's room to stay. There's an in-between.
I do, too.
So, thanks for sharing the feedback and the awesome picture of your pet in the background. In the back seat, staring out the window. I love that. Mm-hmm. All right, we do our best to respond to supporter feedback and let you know when you'll be on an upcoming show. AG, anything to add before the chat? Mm-mm. Closing out episode 415 of Opposing Bases Air Traffic Talk. Romeo Hotel.
And Alpha Golf. Goodbye, everyone.
Drop. Opposing Bases is a listener-supported, ad-free weekly podcast. The views expressed on the show do not reflect the opinions or official positions of the FAA or Penguin Airlines. Episodes are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to replace flight instruction. To get on-time access, bonus content, and full archive access, join the crew at opposingbases.supercast.com. Yeah, drop.